Hello everyone and welcome back to the Disney Discography. If you are not familiar, this is where I and my lady friend watch every single Disney classic or any other movie really that they've done. And yeah, I give my thoughts and opinion on it here on Good Morning Soul as well, because originally I wasn't going to upload these to Good Morning Soul, but I thought it would be perfect for that channel. So here we go. Today, we're doing Bambi. The movie that tortured people's childhoods for years. This film, I can't say that happened to me. I do know I watched this film. I don't know if it's in its entirety, but I do know I watched at least clips or something of this film when I was young. Maybe it was playing in the background somewhere. You know how kids watch movies. They just run around. They can't fucking sit still. They have all this fucking energy that they don't use. It's bullshit. God, to be young again. But, Bambi, you know, it wasn't a film I had really any attachment to. It was, I wasn't, out of all the Disney classics, I was like, oh, I wish I could watch that one and kind of finally see what it was like. Bambi was the one where I was like, I don't, like, I could go without it, like, as much as I want to see it, I'm not, like, saying I need to go out and watch it. But it was on the discography, so I thought now was the time. And I was actually mildly surprised. This film, which came out in the 40s, looks like it could have been in the 90s, and my childhood self wouldn't have blinked an eye. This film, it does have a lot of the older tropes that I'm starting to see in these older Disney movies, what with the choirs and the very, not watercolory style, but the very, the forests look like paintings in this film, and that's not a bad thing. There's a lot more like hand-drawn techniques going on here, even more so than in the obvious like Disney Renaissance. You know, those are hand-drawn. This is like fucking hand-drawn. Like, I can really like see like the human elements in these drawings. Even, like, a lot more so even than in the Disney Renaissance movies. Like, if you put on fucking Tarzan, there's obviously a lot of other fucking shit going on in that movie than hand drawings. Or the buffalo scene in Lion King. You know, there's a lot of shit going on. Did I just say buffalo? I'm dumb. It's 7 in the morning. I shouldn't be awake. Other than that, this film does a lot right. It's a coming-of-age story. It was very reminiscent, you know, Lion King for me. I feel like Disney either has these princess movies where it's like we gotta overcome or outsmart our bad guys, and then it's like the coming-to-age, overcome the world stories like Bambi, Aladdin, Lion King, and Bambi, I guess, was the first out of those movies. And I never thought, this is gonna be spoilers by the way, I never thought that like Bambi like grew up or anything. For some reason I thought he just stayed a kid in this film. So I didn't know what to expect in this movie, so like other than, you know, Bambi's mom dying. And that didn't hit hard as I thought it would. Like, I knew she died, but everyone, like, I always assumed that there was, like, I don't know, like, a little bit more impact. I thought, like, in Lion King, there's a fucking dead body that Simba is literally, like, holding on to. That's fucking dark. In this film, yeah, it was dark, but if you saw it coming like I did, it was just kind of like, oh, okay. Okay. I guess this is that scene now. And that's a little bit unfortunate. And it was the 1940s. Like, if anything, this was big for back then. But there's some other really fucking dark scenes in this. There's this scene with his bird dying. I thought, if you know what the scene I'm talking about, where it's like, because man is evil in this movie, like as man is evil in most animated features. But in this film, it really like shows from a wilderness animal's perspective how fucked up man is. Because they're literally just having some kind of hunting tournament or something. And there's just fucking bullets flying everywhere. They accidentally just happen to start a forest fire at this point in time. There's a fucking fire. And it's not just a fire, it's this, again, painting, like, looking fire that's just destroying this beautiful forest. And there's this one scene with these birds where the birds are like, oh my god, they're getting closer, and they're like, oh, I can't take it anymore, and it flies away and then gets shot. It's fucking dark. And then, later in the film, Bambi grows up, he lives, I guess he takes under his father's wing, which his father is this kind of mysterious leader of the forest, like this little Suicune type creature that just lives in the background, just minding his own business. And you don't even know it's his dad until after his mom dies. He's like, come, my son. Come to your destiny. And Bambi follows him, and the next time we see him, he's all grown up and big, and it's like, oh my god, what happened, Bambi? I never saw adult Bambi before. I literally just like, oh, what the fuck? And I didn't even mention Bambi has all these side characters, like Thumper, who's this like really, I didn't like Thumper all that much, in all honesty. Thumper I thought was very kind of annoying. He literally throughout the whole film is just teasing Bambi and kind of just being a dick to Bambi. And then I just realized I did this whole thing without my shades on. There we go. So Thumper is an annoying character. The whole film he's just gesturing Bambi, just getting under Bambi's skin. Bambi, like, he's like the disabled kid who doesn't know that he's being teased, I felt like. He's just fucking getting shit on by Thumper, and then Thumper pretends to be his best friend later. Which, when they reunite, and Thumper's just old, like his voice actor's really weird, and then they have this skunk friend who gets thrown into the mix. The skunk, it gets older. I didn't know if it was a girl or a guy. I guess it was a guy. God damn it, I'm tired. And then Thumper, Bambi, and the skunk are all best friends again, and it's the future, and then they start walking around, and immediately their entire life changes, because they run. It was literally like a fast-forward version of what happens to Friends, which is usually they all get fucking girlfriends and don't have time for anything. And that's exactly what happened here. The skunk meets this attractive skunk woman, and is just like, ah, fuck you guys. And then Thumper meets this attractive fucking bunny that, like, is trying to rape him. And he's just like, ah, fuck you guys. And then Bambi's like, well, I guess I'm the only one. I might as well get a girlfriend. So he sees his girlfriend, who he actually met earlier in the film, just so we have a little bit of context for this relationship. And after that, he walks into the sunset with her. But oh no, our film's not done yet, because she gets a child, and then Bambi is the new king of the forest, and he is the new wise elder deer that looks at the child from afar, which doesn't really seem to match his character. But I thought it was funny, or I thought it was. I was remembering the part with Bambi. Like stumbling on his legs, and then he meets his girlfriend later as an adult, and he still like is all stumbly and like. I thought that was funny. the whole him becoming the leader of the forest, I thought that worked. I thought it was really cool. And there's actually this weird, it's like the final fight of this film, I guess. This is what it all led up to, which was Bambi's girlfriend gets kind of sidelined by this random other deer. And the other deer has like fucking antlers for days. And he's literally just like fucking trying to fuck up Bambi for like little to no reason. Like Bambi wasn't even like, yo, this is my girl, you need to chill. It's just like, nah, fuck you, don't even fucking. It's just after him. And then Bambi fucking beats his ass. He like gets very little offense in, but at the end he just kind of flips him, and that's that. And that was Bambi. And I know, again, I keep watching and reading these reviews, and everyone's just like, oh my god, it's a fucking classic. I'm never gonna pretend to have an attachment to a movie I don't have an attachment to. Giving classics high reviews for the sake of it just seems dumb to me. I just like to go based off my enjoyment, and based on how much I enjoyed this film, I'm going to be giving it a 7 out of 10. I honestly thought like it was gonna be worse. I don't know why. It just kind of dragged a couple parts, and when it dragged, I was like, okay, it's gonna get worse. But it didn't get worse. It actually got better. I liked the feeling of this forest. Like, I felt like I was actually in nature for this film. I was actually one with the animal kingdom. Like, the scenes that transfer, because the gimmick for this film is it's going from season to season to season. And when it's in winter, like, it just feels like you're in winter. Some of the animals are hibernating. It was just this really warm feeling, despite, you know, it's cold. And other than that, like, visually, I thought this film was fucking great for 1940. What? Like, I don't know. Like, all the stuff that happened, like, in the earlier films of Snow White, where the characters are, like, kind of pasty and weird looking, we only got animals in this film, and maybe that's why they stuck with the animals, because this film looks so much better than those other ones, in my personal opinion. But it was this really soft, charming film. I don't know if I'm ever going to come back to it, but I enjoyed what I saw. Anyway, guys, I'll see you next time in the next episode of the Disney Discography, and until then, thank you for watching as always, and with that, I leave you.